The T20 World Cup scheduling controversy has finally reached the final act. Multiple reports claim that the ICC, that is the International Cricket Council, has officially informed the Bangladesh Cricket Board that its team has now been replaced by Scotland. A press release from ICC is yet to come. We are waiting for that. But let's get in my colleague Rika Roy, who's got all the big story and details with her ear to the ground. Now, Rika, this was anticipated given the fact that it was almost like an eyeball-to-eyeball standoff with not one side willing to relent. But it seems that it's end of the road for Bangladesh in T20 World Cup this year.
Well, the writing was on the wall for Bangladesh after the ICC board meeting 3 days ago that voted against Bangladesh's will of playing their all their T20 World Cup matches in Sri Lanka. There were 14 of the 16 members who voted in favor of the Bangladesh team traveling to India. And then ICC told them, if you do not come back with a positive response in 24 hours time, we are going to have you out of the World Cup and have you replaced by Scotland, which is the next best team. Bangladesh Cricket Board in the 24 hours time had several meetings. In fact, their sports advisor met the players, met the board officials. After that, they did a very big press conference even before discussing with the ICC. Even before going to ICC, they did a press conference saying that they were not traveling to India because of security reasons. They felt that the security situation in India was not conducive for them to play, despite multiple assurances by the ICC, despite the security detail being given to them even during the board meeting. In fact, Bangladesh Cricket Board accused ICC of double standards, saying that what they had asked for specifically was not given. What they were given instead was the standard operating procedure. So there were a lot of allegations that flew back and forth. And finally, now here we are, perhaps seeing the end of the story after 20 days after after Mustafizur Rahman was shown the door from IPL, and then Bangladesh saying that they will not travel to India. For about last 20 days, we have been reporting on the story, and the final.
And you know, Rika, I know you've been reporting on that story. You've been on top of that, and I want you to stay with us. I want to quickly get in Atul Vasan as well, former cricketer, and his reaction to this big story that's coming in right now. Mr. Vasan, your first reaction to that very big decision taken by the ICC. It was anticipated, but the fact that now Bangladesh will be replaced by Scotland in the upcoming T20 World Cup sends out a very strong message.
You know, actually, I'm tickled. I'm more amused than anything, because Bangladeshis are just up the ante without thinking twice. You know, there are 10,000 Bangladeshis living around my house in Delhi. So they feel more secure in India than in Bangladesh. So it's laughable, because this kind of reasoning they're giving, they've become the laughing stock of the world, not even just cricketing world. Because now what they have done is they've cut their nose and they have just to spite their face. Now, just because one guy was taken out of IPL, they have burned the whole house down. And now they'll become a pariah. You know, the sanctions will be there. They're losing out on $500,000. The players suffer. You know, they've been training and planning for this World Cup. So I feel who is the foolish kind of mentality running the show there? And I'm sure it has got to do with their political connectivity, the geopolitical situation, which is making matters worse for the cricket and cricketing setup in Bangladesh.
You're right about the fact that the players are the ones who suffer the most, and also, you know, the cricketing body loses on many fronts. But the fact that they've actually taken this stance, continued with it, clearly indicates that it was a political decision all along, nothing to do with the players' interests, the sporting body's interests.
Yeah, so I think so if that was the reason, and we all know that is the reason, then have the guts to say it as it is, you know. Don't say that it's a security perception. You're looking like fools. You should say that we are, sulking because of our players not being allowed, and that's why our situation in India is not right. They've just been needled and winded up by Pakistan, and this is what has happened. They don't realize that they are the ones who's going to suffer. And by the way, the world cricket will not suffer. I will not miss not seeing Bangladesh cricketers, because as it is, they are not contenders. They are a Mickey Mouse team. So I think Scotland will be good enough, and world cricket will move on. They will suffer. You know, when South Africa was taken away from world body, and a lot of teams have in the middle, have been given gaps. the world cricket moves on. Nobody misses. The fans move on to the next player, next team. So I think they are the only losers.
That's a very important point you're making, that the world cricket is not going to miss Bangladesh's team. They are not a contender to win the World Cup, so to say. But some of those players who would probably work, years to probably display the best that they had at the World Cup are now going to lose out. But, Atul Vasan, now explain to our viewers what happens next now for Bangladesh's team, now that it's not in the World Cup anymore and gets replaced by Scotland.
Well, I can only hypothecate. Actually, I don't really care about Bangladeshi team at all. They can go to, Timbuktu for my interest. But the point is, I just feel as a former cricketer, I feel, that this is so ruthless. And this is for the players to be treated like this. And just for the reason. But, players and population generally in any country is always a collateral damage whenever there is a conflict.
Atul, I want to bring in Rika as well on this.
Ask her to ask me the same question.
Comes in. Yeah, go ahead, Rika.
Well, you asked Atul a question regarding what happens to Bangladesh next. We'd heard from the Bangladesh Cricket Board that while they will not be playing the World Cup, the Bangladesh Cricket Board will be trying to organize a tournament domestically to be able to compensate these players who will not be winning their prize money, who will not be getting the dollars that they would have earned getting to the World Cup. That's what the Bangladesh Cricket Board will now try in a way to compensate these players. But we really don't know how much of that will really take shape, because this decision really throws Bangladesh cricket into quandary. There is going to be a lot of chaos. I can tell you that elections are around the corner. It is a politically charged environment in Bangladesh right now. 12th February is when Bangladesh goes to polls. And cricket is a very, very sensitive matter when it comes to the Bangladeshi population. The fact that they will not be playing in the World Cup, the fact that they had, a rightful place in the World Cup, and now that's being denied because of politics, is not going to go down well with the Bangladesh people. I have been interacting with a lot of them who are on ground, a lot of journalists, a lot of Bangladesh intellectuals, and they say that the Bangladeshi population is not going to take this kindly.
It's a very important point you're making, that for Bangladeshis, cricket is extremely important. And a decision like this has deep ramifications for them as well. You're right, Rika, that 12th of February is when the election will take place, and many would be saying that why is it that the cricketing body had to play so much of politics on the eve of a World Cup for which the players are preparing for? They want to come and show the best they had, not sit out and let Scotland take their place, right? But from ICC,
it came down to the ego. It came down to the ego of a few men, which is what now has led to Bangladesh missing out on the World Cup. Mr. Asif Nazrul was taking decisions on behalf of the Bangladesh Cricket Board, on behalf of the players. I can assure you, I can tell you, not a single player went into that meeting and said, well, we are not going to play the World Cup. They were all keen to play the World Cup, and they wanted the board to find the best possible solution, which the board was unable to. Well, I wouldn't even say the board was unable to, but the board was given directives by the Bangladesh government, and those directives were not to travel to India, which has finally led to their ouster from the World Cup. I will reiterate that, this is desperate times for Bangladesh cricket, also because the team that has rightfully earned their place in the T20 World Cup is now shown the door because of politics that has happened in the meantime, and security concerns that Bangladesh government came up with, which was not valid. And because it was not valid, that ICC made the decision to replace them with Scotland.
Rika, very important that you put that entire context for our viewers, that Asif Nazrul was the one who took that decision. Players were not consulted, because this is not in players' interest. Why would they want to sit out and cheer for Scotland and see Scotland taking their place? But I want to understand now what happens next to Asif Nazrul, because at some point of time, people, the cricket lovers in Bangladesh, the Bangladeshi cricketers, they're also going to go and and tell, and they put that feedback out that why are you messing with our careers, our future for your petty political brownie points?
Well, what happens to Asif Nazrul? Let's wait till the 11th of February. What happens to him? What happens to the current political dispensation in Bangladesh? Because that's when, people will answer on the ballot. So we'll really have to wait and see what happens to Asif Nazrul, what happens to the board president, Aminul Islam Bulbul. And remember this gentleman, Aminul Islam Bulbul, has been one of Bangladesh's finest cricketers who even scored a century in the very first test match that Bangladesh played back in 2000.
All right, Rika, I'm going to leave it there. Thanks much for breaking that story down for us and telling our viewers that big story that's coming in right now. Rika Roy, a sports editor, giving you all the very latest there. Now, let me now walk you through the timeline of what exactly happened. Why is it that Bangladesh will now sit out and cheer for Scotland, which has taken its place in the T20 World Cup? On 16th of December is when KKR had picked Mustafizur Rahman in the IPL auction. That was the time when 4 Hindus were killed in Bangladesh. They were lynched, they were burnt, and those videos were seen by everyone around the world. And the question that many were asking was, why is it that Bangladeshi cricketers were coming here and making money when Bangladeshi Hindus were suffering? And that anger is what reached, and that is when BCCI on the 3rd of January 2026 asked KKR to release Mustafizur Rahman, saying that he cannot be in the KKR team at a time when Bangladeshi Hindus are suffering and are being in fact burnt alive. Mustafizur Rahman was released the very same day by KKR, and on the very next day, 24 hours later, is when Bangladesh Cricket Board told ICC that we're not going to come and travel, our team is not going to come and travel to India for the upcoming T20 World Cup, because they said that there are security concerns. 24 hours later, suddenly they had security concerns. They junked the IPL NOC to players as well. And the following day is when Bangladesh banned IPL broadcast. All because KKR released Mustafizur Rahman, because KKR was told by ICC and responding to that huge public sentiment after the lynching of Hindus there. And on 7th of January is when ICC rejected Bangladesh's request. Come 19th of January, ICC set a deadline of 21st of January, which is giving 48 hours to Bangladesh to ensure that they can decide for themselves whether they will travel or not, because no other way is it going to go. On 19th of January is when reports came to light that if Bangladesh doesn't relent, then Scotland is going to get its place, because Scotland is next in the ratings chart and ratings table, and they were the ones who will replace Bangladesh. On 20th of January, Bangladesh said that it will not give in to the ICC deadline of 48 hours. And on 23rd of January, ICC Dispute Board once again rejected Bangladesh's plea, which said and cited those security concerns for choosing to not travel. And what happens next is what we are breaking for you right now, viewers. Scotland to replace Bangladesh in the T20 World Cup. So Scotland team deserves every bit of this. They should play in the World Cup. They should be able to ensure that their players get a chance to score at the top-notch tournament. As for Bangladeshi cricketers, they should go back and ask to their cricket board, why is it that politics is being played over their careers?